1, 2, 3, 4.
Chant down Babylon kingdom, that make we chant down Vatican now. Bang bling bling, chant down Babylon kingdom, that make we chant down Vatican now. Chant down Babylon kingdom, that make we chant down Vatican now. Bang bling bling, chant down Babylon kingdom, that make we chant down Vatican now.
What up, y'all? It's Babylon 5 Podcast. It's your boy, Jermaine Event. How are you guys doing? How you feeling? It is, today is Sunday, March 6th, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys didn't know, I record this podcast usually every Sunday. Unless, scheduling issues call for me to do otherwise. But I usually try to aim for maybe mid to later day Sunday record. So it is Sunday night, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys had a phenomenal week, and I hope that this is the start of another beautiful week. And if last week was terrible for you, then I hope this week is the start of a great turnaround. This is episode 133, ladies and gentlemen. Calling this bad boy Mustache You. And we're calling this bad boy Mustache You. We're going to talk about my trip to Vegas. I just got back from Las Vegas earlier today. I went to Las Vegas to see UFC 272, ladies and gentlemen. So I'll talk to you guys about that a little bit there, headlined by Colby Covington versus Jorge Masvidal. Some other interesting fights there. Gonna give my prediction for Kevin Lee is making his debut at Eagle FC. We're gonna talk about that. Pardon me. Also for UFC Vegas 50, I believe. You have Magomed Ankalaev taking on Thiago Santos. And I believe that we can talk about that later. I'm jumping the gun. That's the headliner there. There's some good fights on next week's Fight Night card. A lot of interesting fights on that card. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Cain Velasquez, unfortunately. We're going to talk about the last part 3 of the Kanye West trilogy documentary. We're going to talk about that. And I actually showed my face in public. I stepped out to the best place. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about that. But if you guys would like to follow this podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod. You can follow my personal account at My Name's Jermaine. You can email this podcast at Babylon5Podcast@gmail.com. You could hit that like button if you're listening to this podcast right now. Of course, if you're hearing these words right now, hit that like button. Thank you guys so much for doing it. Why not even hit that share button? I mean, I guess you guys are giving an inch and I'm taking a mile. I'm asking you to give a like and then tell everybody else that they better fucking listen. That's what I'm asking. Just force the podcast on everyone you know. Just force it on them. If you guys would like to follow me on Twitch, head on over to twitch.tv/Babylon5. You guys can buy some merchandise at teespring.com/store/BOFpod-shop. And you guys can be my patrons. If you guys would like to be my patrons just for $1, head on over to patreon.com/Babylon5Pod. And as I just said, take a sip of water. As I just said, I got back from Sin City today. I flew in today. I don't know. What's crazy to me, or what I find interesting is that until yesterday, I had never been in a Las Vegas casino. I didn't do any gambling. Not really interested. But I just walked through because from where I was staying, I could walk through the MGM Grand to get to the T-Mobile Arena, essentially. And I don't know, there was all this hype about, like, Las Vegas casinos and yada, yada, yada. But I'm in there, I'm like, yo, this shit's regular as fuck. There's nothing special about this casino. Like, I feel like movies, like, kind of depict it as, like, more lively. But, I mean, I've been to Potawatomi, and there's just a nasty cloud of depression in there. And it's the same. It's the same at the MGM Grand. It ain't this lively place that they make it seem in movies, or not necessarily the MGM Grand, or I'm just saying, like, just casinos in general. They try to make casinos in general come off as, like, some real cool looking shit. And nah, when I'm around those places, it's like, yo, there's darkness here. There's nothing but a cloud of darkness. Lady lit up a cigarette. That shit blew my mind. Because I'm sitting here like, yo, this is a casino. So I guess she could light up a cigarette. Is that how that works? I don't even know if... Can you smoke cigarettes inside in the state of Nevada? I don't know if that's... I know in Wisconsin you can't do things like that. I don't know. I actually don't know the laws. I know a girl just, like, pulled out a cigarette like it was nothing, and I was like, holy fuck. And then it was like somebody walking by with their children, and I'm like, you can bring kids in here and smoke cigarettes in here? This is crazy. And I was like, yo, it's practically a mall in here. And a casino. And a hotel. This is crazy. That's what's lively. It's just craziness. That's what's lively about it. Just the fucking absolute craziness of it all. It wasn't like I walked in there and I was like, ooh, let me go gamble. It looks like that game is fun. No, it looked like everybody in here is depressed. That's what that's the vibe I get from pretty much any casino. I don't understand how people can keep going there. It's pretty weird. But yeah, the way it's depicted, I always, like, thought of those Vegas casinos as, like, an intimidating thing. It's like you go in there and you just get overwhelmed with what's going on in there, is what I thought it would be like in there. And I was like, that's a regular-ass casino with people wasting their money on this nonsense. Like, it's just a regular-ass casino. Ain't nothing special about that shit. I guess if you don't see it, you'll never know. Yeah, I stayed at the Signature by MGM or whatever. It's connected to the MGM Grand, so I could, like, I didn't have to I didn't have to step outside until I was, like, right across the street from the T-Mobile Arena. But where I came out of the MGM Grand and that MGM Grand entrance, right there is a bridge to take you across the street to the T-Mobile Arena. So I was like right there. That was pretty slick. I didn't know that, you know. I was told that I could get to Las Vegas Boulevard from MGM Grand. So I was like, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get on the strip. What's going on? And yeah, so I come out on the strip and I'm like, oh shit, it's literally right there. I know I had a little brief panic, I'm not gonna lie. Because I couldn't really, figure out which direction I needed to go. If I need to go up this street or that one. And I was trying to like just look at landmarks. And then like I'm looking at this street like, oh, it's saying this way. So I'm looking for the Coca-Cola store. Should be a Coca-Cola store this way. This is my mindset. And I couldn't see these landmarks. And I'm like zooming in on the map and shit like that, trying to just see different landmarks. Like, yo, what's down this way? Like, what's over here? But it wasn't working. And I was like, well, shit, I'm about to just walk. And luckily, I ended up going the right way. But yeah, the signature, man, it was decent little suite, you know what I'm saying? Had a jacuzzi tub with a little shower, little glass showers or whatever. You know how niggas be doing. Had a little fridge, balcony. You know, I'm not the nigga on vacation. I'm not the most social nigga. Just outwardly, unless like I probably had a fruit bruise, then I might say what's up to you. But I stepped outside on that balcony. And just a random stranger was like, hello. And I was like, I'm not coming back out here. And it wasn't even like, I'm making it seem creepier than it was, I think, because it wasn't like, oh, some niggas, it was some motherfucker was just like, hello. And no, it was a black dude, and he said, what up? And gave me the nod. I gave him the nod back, but I was like, that's opening the gates too much right there. For a possible conversation. I don't want to know, hey, so where you from? I don't want it. I don't want that to be the next. I don't want this conversation to go there. I'm here. I got intentions, my nigga. I'm not partying with niggas, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, I'm kicking in here. Like, beat battles are coming up. I'm working on beats. Like, I'm gonna sit in my room, and I'm gonna go to the fucking weed store. I'm going to get this weed. I'm going to eat these edibles, smoke this vape, and I'm going to fucking work on music. I was like, I'm not even trying to interact with another fucking person unless absolutely necessary. Is how I felt. Like, unless absolutely necessary. So I was like, well, now this balcony shit is dead. Since you got niggas over here saying hello and shit, this balcony shit is dead. So that was cool. But nah, what I found I was saying to you guys last week, I didn't have a hotel booked or anything like that. I was originally going to stay at the Golden Nugget, but I was like, nah, I don't want to stay there. It didn't have like a fridge or anything. Like, I don't even know if that shit had a microwave. It was like the oldest hotels. No, I'm saying the Golden Gate. It's like the oldest hotel in Las Vegas, and I'm like coming up, I was like, nigga, that's not a good idea. So, I was looking at these like suite situations. There's sweet situations all over the strip, and they're just nicer. Like a lot of them have balconies and shit like that. They're just nicer. I personally think they're just like they're just nicer than just a regular ass hotel room. Naturally, you guys hear what I'm saying? A suite is better than just a regular ass fucking hotel room. So I stayed at the Signature. That was cool. Cool little suite. I booked it through Airbnb like the day before. Yeah, because I guess hotels are. It'll be like niggas, like somebody, I don't even understand how this works. It'll be like somebody or a company or some shit, like gets rooms through the hotel, and then they post those rooms through Airbnb as like a company, and they maintain the room, they clean the room, they do everything for the room, not the hotel. But the hotel, you check in and check out at the desk with the hotel. You got access to all the hotel shit, but you don't pay no resort fee. Like, and it's usually cheaper than if you booked through the fucking actual hotel. It's pretty, so that's what I did. I booked at the Signature through Airbnb, and it was a decent suite. Like, it was nothing bad. It was a jacuzzi tub, as I was saying. And as I started, I was like, man, let me hop my black ass in this jacuzzi tub and see what these fucking jets is talking about. You know what I'm saying? Just one time. Let me see what it's talking about. And as the water was filling up, I'm like, damn, this shit's gonna take fucking forever. The water was getting maybe about a quarter full, and I had a thought to myself, how the fuck do I drain this? I couldn't see any way to drain it, and it was like, there's like a little like circular thing. Well, it was like a area in the tub where I felt like, yo, that could turn into a drain. So I'm like trying to push this thing in if I can in any way, and it's just not moving. And I'm like, how the fuck? There's only button here. There's the two handles for hot and cold water, the faucet, and there's a button to turn the jets on. So I'm sitting here like, fuck, I don't know how I'm gonna drain this. If I get my black ass in here, it's just gonna be dirty ass water just lingering. Just fucking lingering here. So I just turned the water off. And then I was like, fuck it. These niggas is gonna come in and maintain it. One of you niggas is gonna you got a cleaning staff coming in here, I guarantee it. So they know how to fucking drain that bathtub, nigga. I don't I was like, I'm not even finna bother this nigga. You'll see it. You'll see it. So I didn't hop in the jacuzzi tub. It probably, like, everything in me told me, like, bro, don't get in this tub. You don't know who been doing what in this tub. It ain't clean. But I was finna hop my black ass in that tub anyway. But until I realized, yo, I don't know how to fucking drain this shit. So I'm kind of happy that happened. I looked up, because, you know, Nevada is a green state, ladies and gentlemen, and I look up Google, well, I go to, like, the app Leafly, I believe, and I want to see what's the closest dispensary to me, and it was this spot called MedMen on Paradise, and so I Uber there, and as I'm looking at these fucking edibles and shit like that, because, you know, like, edibles are usually, like, candy. It's been rare that I've been to a place and they've had, like, savory edibles. I love me some savory edibles, but usually it's candy. So when I see this candy, like, I instantly, like, realize I forgot to pack my toothbrush. You know what I'm saying? Looking at this candy, I'm like, I did not bring my toothbrush. And I was like, fuck. Yo, the shop's legit looks like a fucking Apple store. It's crazy. You go in there and it's like, oh, you want these gummies? This one here is a sativa. It'll make you feel energized, focused. It's got all the information. Like, in the weed store. Like, the shit looks like a goddamn Apple store. And it is. I mean, it's all iPads. These little touchscreens everywhere. Little iPads everywhere. It's wild, man. It's wild where we've come as a country, you know? It's pretty interesting. So, yeah, I realized, like, when I'm looking at these edibles that I forgot to pack my toothbrush. So I see that there's a fucking 7-Eleven in the parking lot of MedMen, where MedMen is. There's, like, it's like a little strip mall, which, no, yeah, it's just a little strip mall with MedMen, and, so I'm like, yo, let me just hop over to this fucking 7-Eleven before I go back to the hotel, and, you know, before I walk into the fucking 7-Eleven, I see, like, what looks like a crackhead sitting out in front of the store, and she like quickly turned and looked at me as I was going, and just like stared at me as I was going in, and I'm just like, I'm looking like, damn, I look like a crackhead. That's what I'm thinking in my head. Like, she looks kind of crackish, you know? And I go in, and this was the smallest little 7-Eleven, but it was just super hood. All the customers in here were super hood. The fucking cashiers and shit were super hood. Sitting there just openly like, yeah, I got a blunt waiting for me in the car and all that. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm saying, like, I mean, I guess it's legal in Nevada. So I guess maybe that kind of conversation isn't necessarily frowned upon in the workplace anymore there. Niggas can just be openly just talking to customers about how they have a blunt in the car. I was like, this is fucking crazy. They weren't talking to me. They were just talking loudly to another customer that just happened to walk in. Got motherfuckers coming in buying fucking big ass fucking $8 bottles of fucking wine. This was the hood, alright? I went in there, grabbed a toothbrush, a little travel brush, toothpaste, little kit. Called an Uber, came back. On the way back to the hotel, I say to the homeboy that picked me up, I was like, yo, man, I'm not from here. I'm from Wisconsin, and I could be wrong, but it kind of seems like this is the hood. Like, kind of seems like we're in the ghetto over here. And he was like, nah, man, hell yeah, this is the ghetto. He was like, hell yeah, this is the ghetto. He was like, yo, this is, like, it gets pretty rough over here sometimes. And he said, but, like, I think he said on the other side of, the Strat. He said on the other side of the Strat, it gets real dicey. Or maybe, yeah, I think he said there's a 7-Eleven on the other side of the Strat. And he said he's seen motherfuckers, like when he's driving by there, he's seen somebody just standing out there holding a machete. And, like, other people are, like, just standing around near this person. He said, like, nobody else is reacting to this man standing there with a machete. And he's like, but it's just, like, crazy people. I mean, I feel like most homeless people have, like, you know, mental health issues and yada, yada, yada. But, yeah, he was talking about how so many of the areas there in Vegas go very quickly from bright lights and entertainment to the sketchiest place you've just found yourself in. You've unfortunately just found yourself in. And he was like, he sees so many times, like, tourists just start walking down these streets because they feel like everything is safe, but they don't understand that, like, as soon as they cross that street, like, it's no longer the entertainment district. You're in, like, I was saying to my wife, it's like a third world country there, man. Like, you got all these fucking fancy ass hotels. I'm sitting at this resort, and you can still, like, from the balcony, I was looking through the window. I wasn't on the balcony. I could see, you know, like, people outside, and it was like, yo, man, like, all this homeless, and that's how it was everywhere. Last time I was in Vegas, there's, like, people sleeping under these bridges and shit like that. There's like a fence. They just had a line of homeless people, like, sleeping up by that. You know what I'm saying? It was, like, a large, and it's like when you're I'm sitting in this resort working on music, and I can see all these people just, like, roaming these streets looking all fucked up. Just clothes all tattered. Pushing carts and shit like that. I see this and I'm like, dude, is this a fucking third world country? Like, are we living in a third world country right now? Because that's what I think of. I was saying recently, well, not too recently at work, but I was saying a while ago that I don't like the whole idea of, like, going out of this country to, like, some, like, resorts, like some Bali type shit. Like, where we go to the resort and we're having the time of our lives. But if you look out that window at the wrong time, you're gonna probably see the most depressing shit you've ever seen, which is just the reality for those people. It's their everyday. And luckily, they fucking say, hey, don't look over there at this time. Not 7. Not from 7 to 12. Don't look out that window. Just come over here. Free margaritas. We're doing the cha-cha slide. You know what I'm saying? But then when I'm in Vegas, it's like, how is this any different from that? That's how I felt about the way that city is set up. It's kind of gross. It's kind of gross. That's why I was happy to just stay in the telly, work on music. Only thing I regretted was I didn't bring my Xbox. I thought about it, and then I went against it last minute, and I was like, fuck, I really should have brought my Xbox. I really should have brought my Xbox. I guess I could have, because I could have had another bag with me. But I know when I flew out, man, when you fly out of Milwaukee, it's just Milwaukee from my experience. They just do too much, man, is what it seems like. I had to take all my electronics out. I had speakers with me, laptop, beat, like my drum machine. I had all this shit with me underneath clothes and shit, because I didn't think they were going to make me take it all out. So I basically had to unpack my entire luggage to put it up on the belt and then repack it all. Like, that was fun. I did it pretty quickly, but I was sweating so hard afterwards. I was like, fuck, I probably burned like 300 calories just, or I think I said like 150 calories. Like 150 calories just off of unpacking and packing my shit, just panicking. Like, holy fuck. It was like, you know, it was a slow build to pack that bag as I did it, and then to close it was me kind of like kneeling on it and getting it. So like, as they're telling me I gotta take all this shit out, it's like, oh fuck, I'm not gonna be able to get this shit back in here, is what I'm thinking. Luckily, like, I was able to do it sweating my ass off, my nigga. I was beads of sweat dripping by the time I got all that shit to close in that bag, dude. It was crazy. And then when I come back from Vegas, they are like, yo, don't take your shoes off. Don't take a thing out of that bag. Just walk that way. Just keep walking. Please keep walking. Shoulder to shoulder with this random stranger. You and this stranger, shoulder to shoulder. All right. I thought, because like, they were like, all right, now you two stand over here. And then it was like, all right, now you two walk. Shoulder to shoulder. I thought they just wanted us to stand shoulder to shoulder before they tell us to walk. I'm like, I don't know this person. Why am I walking shoulder to shoulder with this stranger? Like, I don't know you. I don't know the situation. It's pretty weird. But other than that, that's the only weird thing about TSA. I'd say outside of Milwaukee. Milwaukee is like, you damn near got to do a cavity search just to get through Milwaukee TSA. But anywhere else, they're like, dude, just don't even put that bag through the scanners if you don't want to, all right? It's the fucking honor system anywhere else you fly. But in Milwaukee, it's like, all right, you're going to need you to bend over and cough, or squat and cough is what it is. All kinds of shit, man. It's crazy. It's pretty crazy. But that was, I don't know. So I wasn't interested in like going to no fucking casinos, or, you know, just being out in the city in general. I wasn't really interested in, other than just going to the event that I came there for. Yeah, everything was pretty cool for that. I don't know how I got on this. I think I'm still talking about the ghetto. Machetes. I got on this rant. But yeah, that's Vegas. That's me babbling about the city at UFC 272. In my section, so I was in section 3, and then I saw that the section to be in, the ideal section for your boy is section 2, ladies and gentlemen. In that section, I'm seeing niggas fist bumping the fighters as they are coming out of the fucking tunnel. You're right there as the fighters are standing there. If you've seen it on TV, I'm sure you guys all have. When the fighters are standing there in the tunnel, if you're in section 2 at the T-Mobile Arena, you're right there. Like right in front of the fighters as they're about to walk out. And they're like just fist bumping everybody. I was like, fuck, I want to be over there. I want to be down there fist bumping. I was going to say Khabib, but what? I mean, Khabib be coaching. He be out there. He's one of the niggas that be out there that could fist bump me. You know what I'm saying? No, that's the section to be in. I was in section 3. Pretty good seats. I think I posted. I had a video that I shared. It was sold out crowd. It's pretty cool. But in my section, as I was walking through the venue, I see Mike Perea with his blonde hair, his I believe it's Gucci. He had a Gucci scarf that he had on, and he was fucking faded. And he's just having a good time, man. Mike Perea was having a good time. But he looked beyond faded. So we're in line at the bar. Like Mike Perry's here. Like he's like across from me. I'm right here. I didn't ask him for a picture. It's like other people were walking up and he was taking them, and I was like, I'm just gonna be the one guy that doesn't say, hey, take this picture. But Mike Perea like is with some other guy, some big guy. Mike Perea is like my size, but like maybe even a little smaller than me. That's what I was shocked about. I was like, yo, these guys are like giants on TV. But Mike Perea is like, yo, he's my size. But I'm like, dude, I'm bigger than Mike Perea. he beat my fucking ass. Let's be real here. But I was just like, yo, Mike Perea. I was like, I'm bigger than Mike Perea. But anywho, this nigga is there. He's faded. And he says to his friend, he's like, hey, look at that dude mustache. And I was like, and I look over at the dude's mustache, and I just start laughing. You know what I'm saying? I just start laughing. The dude had a weirdly shaped, super thick mustache. And it was like dark. Just like randomly thick, dark, and like it was like you could tell he like shaped it weird purposely. And I start laughing, and Mike Perea goes and then starts like slapping me on the chest like a couple times, and I'm sitting there like, holy fuck, he just made this whole trip. Mike Perea just made this whole trip with that shit. I was like, holy fuck, it's Mike Perea like fucking giving me the you laughed at my joke shit. You know what I'm saying? Like he was faded. I was like, I'm gonna give him this courtesy laugh, if anything. You know what I'm saying? He's a bro. He came off to me as a bro right there, and I've had many a bro friend in my day, ladies and gentlemen. I gave him that attention he was looking for. He did the mustache thing with his friend. His friend wasn't listening to him. And I laughed at his joke, and he was like, that made my fucking night. All right. So shout out to Mike Perea, man. That was pretty fucking cool. But UFC 272, that shit was sold out. I was there. I got there about 2:30. Doors opened at 2. Cards started at 3 that time, so it would have been 5 o'clock Central Time. I got there at 2:30. It was already like a decent amount of people there when I got there. And by the time like the prelims, the early prelims were done, it was like maybe about half the people were there, if not more than half the people. It was like people showed up early for this, and that's what I was saying, like, back in the day when people were talking about how, like, oh, it's going to be weird fighting in front of no audience. And it's like most of you fight in front of no audience every single time because people usually don't show up until the main card. But that was not the case here with UFC 272. These people got there early. It got packed early. It was sold out. It was fucking lively in there, man. It's pretty lively. As you guys know, I'm a pro Colby Covington guy here. I'm a big Colby Covington fan. I'm sitting in my seat and judging by the t-shirts and the way people are cheering when Masvidal appears on the screen, I know that I'm surrounded. I'm this one dot of blue in a sea of red, if you will. I'm Austin, and everybody here is Texas. And fucking, I just knew it. I was like, yo, let me have a couple drinks, because these people are not finna, I'm not finna let this environment keep me from my shtick. I like to, if I went to a WWE show, I would like to cheer for the bad guys. And I'm there cheering for Colby. Colby has the shtick of being the bad guy. I'm gonna be super loud in this crowd, because I was pretty sure Colby was gonna dominate him, and he did. So I was in that crowd fucking trolling that entire fight. Yeah, I don't think, like, I don't know. There were two ladies, like, after the fight were like, yo, we just want to say you made this fight, like, so much better. Like it's, like, awesome because you were here. And I was like, hell yeah. Because I was getting, like, I was going wild in there, like, Kobe, Kobe. People are trying to do the Masvidal chants. I'm turning around, Kobe, Kobe, Kobe. Like, just getting real amped up for Kobe. Like, I was getting real amped up for Kobe. At one point, I don't know if they left for me, but two guys that were next to me left pretty early. I think they left before the fight was over. But they were there rooting for Masvidal, and he was getting dominated. So, and I was whiling the fuck out at that point. I was real hyped for that fight. And, it's just nicer that, because last time I was there, as I was saying, I was there cheering for Kobe. Probably, a lot less animated than I was last night. But it didn't pay off. Kobe ended up losing that fight, and it felt real good to be cheering for Kobe there. Just my one dot of blue in that sea of red. I'm in there cheering for Kobe. And, like, yeah, I was looking back, there was, like, a couple of white dudes who had, like blazers and shit, and I was like, yo, the dudes with the blazers are doing what I'm doing. I bet they're gonna cheer for Kobe when I start cheering for Kobe, but absolutely not. Like, nobody was with me. Nobody was with me in that section. I was the lone Kobe fan there, but that made it that much better for me. Like, I've fed off the moans and groans of that whole audience as Colby Covington absolutely dominates Jorge Masvidal. It was a beautiful fight. I watched it again, watched like half of it before we got loaded up on the plane, and then finished it when I got back here. It was a great fight. Great fight. Colby dominated. There were, moments. There was moments where Masvidal had success in the stand-up, but it was otherwise just absolute domination by Colby. Colby got him on the ground and then, like, stacked him in his guard and was just unloading elbows and just great ground and pound. Colby just dominated Jorge Masvidal, as we knew was going to happen. Everybody knew that this was going to happen, and it happened exactly how I thought it was going to happen. I mean, there were moments there where Colby was just getting off these strikes. I thought maybe he was going to finish, especially with the ground and pound. That ground and pound was nasty, but there was times where he had Masvidal backed up against the fence, and he's just unloading on Masvidal, and Masvidal's not firing back. I thought he could have finished him, but he did not. Gets the unanimous decision. I feel like maybe Masvidal should retire. But he just signed a new contract, unfortunately, where it says they made him one of the top 5 highest paid fighters in the UFC. So, like, clearly he's gonna look to fight again. I don't know, but who does he fight? Probably nobody in the top 5. I don't see him fighting somebody in the top 5. If anything, you give him like a top 10 surging guy, top 15 surging guy. Yeah, top 15 like upcoming guy. You got to feed him to somebody, because he's on his way out. You got him the increase in pay, and now give him his fucking farewell tour. Colby wants to fight Dustin Poirier next, but Poirier's already been like, I'm not fighting him. He's like, I'm not fighting him in the octagon. He's not gonna make money off of me. He's like, if I fight Colby, then I'm going to jail. And he's like, because like I can't. He said some craziness. It sounds like he's scared. He does not want to fight Colby. Like, and it's like, I don't know if he's scared, but like, I don't know if it's a scared thing. It's probably the same thing as we saw with Jorge here. Everybody's like, yo, there's footage of him dominating him, and we can see that he's clearly just a better wrestler than him all around. And we see where Jorge has struggled in his career. So it was like clearly many people saw this fight going that way. So with what we see with the grappling, the wrestling being such a problem for Dustin Poirier, with like Khabib, him being choked out with rear naked chokes in consecutive title fights, with that being the case, like, who doesn't think that Colby wouldn't do the exact same thing he just did to Jorge Masvidal? Poirier does not want that fight. I don't know if it's necessarily a scared thing, but he's saying, oh no, if I fight, we're not fighting in the octagon. If I fight Colby, we're going to jail. Because he knows he does not win that fight. He knows he does not win that fight. He's trained with Colby. He knows how good Colby is. And so did Masvidal. Masvidal didn't look too confident coming into this one. And he got dominated. So I would like to see Colby fight. Who would I like to see Colby? I would like Colby to. So I would like him to fight the winner of Vicente Luque versus Bilal Muhammad. That's who I would like Colby to fight next, because I feel like the winner of Khamzat Chimaev Burns will face Usman. And I don't think Burns will face Usman next. I believe Khamzat Chimaev will win that fight at UFC 273 and then go on to face Kamaru Usman. That's what I think will happen. So I think Colby fights either Vicente Luque or Bilal Muhammad. That's what I see is going on with that. So, yeah, fucking Rafael Dos Anjos had a change in opponent last minute. Rafael Fiziev is what I've heard is pronounced Rafael Fiziev. He had to pull out. He has COVID. Islam Makhachev immediately was saying, like, yo, I'll step in and fight RDA. But then Dana White said Makhachev just turned it down. Like, they were going to book the fight, but he just turned it down. So then they brought in... he turned it down. So now Dana White says, before last week, Dana White said that Makhachev was going to get the title shot in his next fight. And he said because he turned down this fight with RDA after talking shit, after throwing your hat in the fucking ring, you fucking turned down the fight. Dana said he now has to fight Beneil Dariush next instead of fighting for the belt. So he kind of shot himself in the foot there by not taking the fight. So we got RDA versus Renato Moicano, man. And he just fucking beat the shit out of Moicano. Because twice the doctor came in to look at him to see if that shit should be stopped. He just beat the shit out of Moicano. Moicano had a good 5th round because, you know, RDA had punched himself out. He beat the shit out of Moicano. So, big ups to Moicano for taking the fight. But goddamn. Shout out to a lot of people on that card. You had Kevin Holland, who made his welterweight debut, and he beat Alex Oliveira, Cowboy Oliveira. And then he kind of said he wanted to fight Donald Cerrone, which I like that fight. But then later on, he walked it back and said he does not want to fight Cowboy and that he instead wants to fight, unfortunately, Daniel Rodriguez. I don't know, I got to look at the size difference there because I know Kevin Holland is big for 170, but so is Daniel Rodriguez, and that boy is tough. I don't know if that's the person to be calling out. But shout out to him. Shout out to Bryce Mitchell. It was a great card all around. Shout out to Sergey Spivak, who, as I said he's probably going to beat the fuck out of Greg Hardy, and he did. Finished him via TKO. Ground and pound, just 1 round. Not even a full round. Just dominated. So shout out to all the fighters. It was a great time being there in Vegas. I was happy to be there. It was definitely a time where I didn't believe that I would be there doing things like that, but I was happy to be there. So I was treated well by the T-Mobile Arena. Next week, we have UFC Vegas 50, which Magomed Ankalaev versus Thiago Santos. Obviously, as I said here previously, I am going with Magomed Ankalaev to dominate this fight. I think he'll get the finish. I think he'll get a finish here, and I think he should get a title shot pretty soon here. If not, in his very next fight. I think after dominating Thiago Santos in this main event, Magomed Ankalaev should fight the winner of Yuri Prochazka versus Glover Teixeira. That's what I like to see. Also on this card next week, you got Drew Dober taking on Terence Mckinney. Like, Terence Mckinney just fought February 26th. It's March 6th. Right? March 6th. Yeah, it's March 6th today. He just fought February 26th, and now he is fighting next week. Like, that's what these young guys have to do. If they want to, like, make a name for themselves, people like Khamzat Chimaev, you know what I'm saying? You have to take these short notice fights. Like, and he's winning. He won his last fight in the very first round via submission. He's looking pretty dominant. So, yeah, shout out to Terence Mckinney. I'm going to be very interested in that fight. And then you got another fighter. You got Alex Perea. As you guys know, his claim to fame in the MMA world is that he knocked out Israel Adesanya in kickboxing. And he's up against Bruno Silva. So we get to see another serving, another sample size of Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira. See what he looks like on his quest for a rematch with Israel Adesanya. You know what's funny? I saw his coaches. They were like, we want to fight Izzy. and like where we know that he's not ranked, so they wouldn't want to book it for like right now. And he's like, but Izzy is the champion, and if he wants to fight, then he can tell them that he wants to fight him next. And I'm like, why the fuck would he do that? Why would the fuck would he be like, nah, this guy doesn't need to like work his way up because he's proven that he can beat me in a different sport? I think that's pretty silly. That's pretty silly. But yeah. But we get to see it. Hopefully, for him, he wins and can improve on his quest to face Israel Adesanya. I mean, if he can keep winning and stack up wins and build up a name for himself, that's going to make the fight even bigger. So, like, hopefully he can look pretty good in here, you know? So I'm looking forward to that fight. On Friday, we have Eagle FC 46, I believe, headlined by Kevin Lee versus Diego Sanchez. And you guys should know that I believe this is going to be an absolute domination from Kevin Lee on one Diego Sanchez. I don't know where Diego's training, as I was saying. I still don't know where Diego Sanchez is training. He didn't look like... He looked like he was in better shape last time we saw him. Like, when he did the press conference for this fight, he looked like he was in a much better shape. So, yeah, it's going to be... but I still don't think it's going to matter. I feel like Kevin Lee, who's, not even 30, he's just going to go in there and just absolutely dominate Diego Sanchez. Like, first round, Kevin Lee is going to be enough to finish this washed up Diego Sanchez. He's gave up the last years that he had with this Joshua Fabia dude. Like, that shit, like, probably ruined him. Some last few possibly serviceable years from Diego Sanchez. A potential fight with Conor McGregor. You know, like Conor McGregor wanted to fight Diego Sanchez, you know. It would have been the biggest fight of his career. But yeah, I'm interested in that fight. I'm definitely gonna watch that fight, talk about it here. As I said, I'm real interested in how Eagle FC handles Kevin Lee. Real interested in that. So I'm going to be watching that, and I want to see where he goes from here. If he loses to Diego Sanchez, dude, take some time off. I don't think there should be no way that Kevin Lee loses this fight. If Kevin Lee loses here to Diego Sanchez, that would be the worst thing for Eagle FC. All right? That would be the worst thing for Eagle FC. You know, I just want to say briefly, to touch on Cain Velasquez, you know, real touchy situation. It's just free Cain, all right? I feel like what he did, the intentions on his part, you know, were noble. The outcome is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he's in the situation he's in. But I'm hoping that everything turns out okay for Cain. You know, Cain and his family, sending good vibes to Cain Velasquez. Free Cain Velasquez. Let me see something here. Yeah, I'm not even gonna... Well, here we go, actually. Just to brief... we're going pretty long here. So just to briefly talk about this Kanye West Part 3. It was interesting. The guy who did the documentary, you know, as Kanye got more famous, he stopped having the videographer around. He stopped having him film things, so... there was less and less footage for him to use as far as Kanye. And he was showing, like, videos. He's with Kanye. He's filming Kanye when Kanye's, like, now. It's, like, 2020, 2021 type shit. Maybe even, like, 2019 or some shit like that. But Kanye's going on these rants. And, like, I don't know, it just seems sad, you know? It's like, when Donda died, like, it really fucked Kanye up. And I feel like with watching this documentary, he's still grieving very badly, and he's trying to use work and all these other things, lashing out at Pete Davidson and all these other things he's trying to use to deal with the fact that he lost his best friend, he lost his mom. I feel like he's still grieving very badly to this day. It was pretty sad to watch this documentary. You got Cootie, who's filming Kanye through all this time. He's following him through all these years. And as Kanye is going on these rants, he's just, multiple times, he just chooses to shut off the cameras because he felt uncomfortable. He personally felt uncomfortable recording Kanye going on these rants. It's getting sad, man. It's real sad. Kanye was getting excited because Tucker Carlson was saying that, oh, we can't say he's crazy or some shit for his takes. Like, it's like, dude, why are you fucking listening to Tucker Carlson? Like, I don't know, it's just some weirdness, man. I miss the old Kanye. But it ended really sad. I felt real bad for Kanye. He seems like he's still grieving. That was my take on Genius. It was very inspirational. A lot of lessons to be learned from the documentary, man. But I just think Kanye is still grieving, is what I got from that. It's one of the things that I got from that. I think Kanye is still grieving. And lastly, I want to touch on this. There's a show at the Best Place, Old Pabst Brewery. First time there, the wife and I went in there. We stopped in to see, there was a hip-hop show I wanted to see. It was the artist Hectic went on first, and then the artist Nile went on second. Hectic's got a real nice flow. I liked his, he's got real nice wordplay. I liked his set. Brought some guests on and whatnot. But Nile, dude, that Nile dude's pretty sick. He reminded me of, like, Isaiah Rashad. He had Isaiah Rashad vibes, pause. But, yeah, I was really into that Nile's music, man. He's a pretty good guy. So, if you guys are in Milwaukee, you want to see some local hip-hop, if it's not your boy, if you see that Nile is performing, definitely go ahead and check out Nile, man. That music was pretty dope. This is the first time, like, seeing this guy live like that. I think maybe I've seen him, like, years ago as, like, the Fat Nerds, like, it was his rap crew, like, years ago. But, like, now he's, like, pretty dope. So, shout out to Nile, man. It was a pretty good show, and shout out to Breaking and Entering for putting it on. You know what I'm saying? It was a pretty good show. And I would say that this was a pretty good show, I'd feel like. I'd say so, old chap. And if you guys would like to follow this podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod. You can follow my personal account at My Name's Jermaine. You could email this podcast at Babylon5Podcast@gmail.com. You guys should hit that like button if you made it here this far. Wherever you listen to this podcast, go ahead and hit that like button. If you guys are on Twitch, go ahead and follow me at twitch.tv/Babylon5. Go ahead and cop some merchandise. Go to teespring.com/store/BOFpod-shop. And lastly, don't just be my Niji, be my patron. Be my patron. Head on over to patreon.com/Babylon5. This has been episode 133, Mustache You. Yeah, the name of this episode is in reference to that Mike Perry story. That's the reference there. But yeah, this has been episode 133. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you guys will take care of yourselves and each other. And I'll see you when I see you. I'll holla.
Chant down Babylon kingdom. Team make me chant down Vatican now. Bang the ling bang chant down Babylon kingdom. Team make me chant down Vatican now. Chant down Babylon kingdom. Team make me chant